Hey everybody, it's Janice with Creating Through Chaos, and today we're going to start this project by using one of the wood rounds from Dollar Tree. And I'm going to take my antique wax and one of my applicators and stain this whole wood round. I'm going to make sure that I get the whole front and the sides. And these little applicators make it so much easier, and I got them on Amazon. If you're interested, just ask for the link in the comments. And then I made sure I got the edge, and then I'm just going to set that aside and let it dry. Then I'm going to take this beehive that I got at Dollar Tree. It's just like a cutout with a bee and a hive on it. And I'm going to paint the hive part of it with this antique gold color, and that is by Decor. Once I have that all painted, I am going to take and paint the bee itself all black. And I just used a small brush for this so I didn't get any on the gold. And I painted the whole thing with the black. Once I have that all painted, I am going to take more of that antique gold and I'm going to go ahead and add some yellow stripes to this bee. So I used the two little parts of the cutout, and I'm just taking my paintbrush and I'm just going up and down in like a zigzag motion and adding more paint if I need to, and just kind of spacing them out where they need to be. So I did the two on the bottom and then that one, and then I'm going to do one right in the center of his body and then one right up by his head. And like I said, I'm just going up and down in like a zigzag motion with the paintbrush. Super simple. It doesn't have to be perfect. I don't want it to be perfect. I want it to look like it's rustic, and I also want it to look like it's more natural. Once I had that all finished and it was all dry, I'm just going to sand down this whole piece. And I'm just using a sanding block that I got at Dollar Tree. And then once I got that all sanded, I wanted to do the insides of the little honeycombs. So I'm going to just take a nail file and get the inside of those and all the little edges that were kind of hard to get with the sanding block. And nail files work great for small areas like that. Once I had it all sanded, I'm going to take my same applicator that I used to put the wax on the wood round and just go over this whole honeycomb. And go right over the bee itself also. And there it is, all stained. And I'm going to set that aside and let that dry also. Next, I'm going to go back to my wood round, and I'm going to do a quick white coat of paint. I'm not going to worry about it being fully coated, or if I miss any spots or any of that brown showing through. I want the brown to show through, so I just did a really quick coat, and I let that dry, and then I'm just going to sand off the edges and in the center and just kind of give it that rustic background look that I was looking for. Again, you can see the brown coming through. That's why I stained the round first. Once I have that all sanded, I'm just going to take some glue, and I just use this, it's like an Elmer's just craft all-purpose glue. And then I'm going to use my glue gun, and then we're going to glue this honeycomb with the bee on it right to the center of this wood round. So once I had all that glue on, I'm going to add my hot glue. And this will give us a, quicker adhesive with the hot glue, and then the other glue will give it a long bond once it dries. I'm going to make sure I get that as centered as I can, and then just press it down. Once I have that all on, I'm just going to add that hanger back on. And then I'm going to take all of these different ribbons and fabrics that I had, and I'm going to bundle them all in my hand and just make a giant messy bow. So I'm just going to keep adding different colors of ribbon that I had cut up. So I used some black and some gold, and then I had a honeycomb ribbon and some whites. Basically the colors that I used to paint the sign and the beehive and the honeycomb. Or the honeycomb, not the beehive. And I'm just going to keep adding them, just layering them on until I get the look that I want. And then you just kind of arrange as you go. So you're just going to hold it with your hand. And just keep layering them on. I want this to be like a big kind of messy bow that matches all of the colors in our sign. And I think these were perfect colors for that. Next, I'm going to start adding some raffia in. And this stuff is messy, but that's what I wanted. So I wanted it to be like big, fluffy, messy. And so I used some regular natural colored raffia. And then I also had like a gold colored raffia that I added also. So as you add the raffia, you're going to want to pinch even harder and kind of arrange it. And then I took my scissors and just kind of cut pieces that were, you know, all writhly and everywhere. And then I'm going to take a piece of twine and then I'm just going to tie that really, really tight in the back and make sure that it's all arranged in the front. And I'm going to double knot that, and then I'm just going to cut off the excess. And then you can kind of arrange the bow how you want after that, trimming pieces, you know, if you have any loops in the raffia, you want to get rid of that, and, you know, any pieces that are just going really crazy. And then, again, just keep arranging it until you get it to look the way that you want. Now that I've got it how I want it, I'm going to set that aside for a few minutes, and I'm going to take this coffee dyed tag that I had and these stamps from Dollar Tree. I'm going to pull off this little bee stamp, and then I'm going to pull off this little honeycomb stamp that came in another pack. And then I'm going to add one of those, the honeycomb, right to my acrylic block, add it on the stamp pad, and then stamp the bottom half of this tag with the honeycomb. Remove that honeycomb and then add the bee onto my acrylic block and then add that on to the tag. And as you can see, it's got a cute little stamp on it now. Now I'm going to take that bow and the tag and I'm going to grab a piece of twine and I'm going to tie that tag right onto the bow. So I'm just going to wrap it around, tie it in a double knot, and then I'm going to cut off the excess twine once I have it all tied. I'm going to kind of arrange the tag where I want it and then cut off the excess pieces of twine. And then I'm going to glue that bow right into the top left-hand corner onto the honeycomb. And pop that right on there. Make sure that it's sitting correctly so that you can still see the tag. Once I had that all finished, I had this dried sunflower that I actually found at a thrift store. It was like an arrangement of them, and I just bought the arrangement so I could cut the sunflowers off of them. But you could just use a, you know, faux flower if you have one, or you could add a button to the center or a bee. It's totally up to you. And that is it. I think this project turned out so super cute. Look how adorable that is. I absolutely love the bee decor look. I hope this inspires you to make one. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and as always, don't forget to spread the chaos.